Growing up a preacher's kid, I saw the stress that was put on my parents, as my dad was a pastor and we lived a life of crazy ministry. And I promised I would never let my life be the same. But just 2 years into my own ministry, I ended up in the hospital. I had hit complete rock bottom, had burned myself out almost beyond repair. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, all of those areas of my health suffered tremendously. And I realized I wasn't the only one. My friends were having problems with burnout. People were just crashing and burning left and right. And I wondered, obviously I'm not the only one, but there really didn't seem to be any resources for burnout. When I launched the Mad Church Disease website, we had over 1,000 people respond to some anonymous surveys that I put up and just shared their stories and where they were broken, places that they were hurting. And I realized it affects everybody. So I asked respected leaders like Bill Hybels and Craig Rochelle and Mike Foster and even some pastors' wives, how is burnout affecting you and how has it and what are some things that you've done to prevent it? The process of Mad Church Disease being developed from a website with a survey to a book has been really a great process. The most encouraging thing has probably been getting to know different people through online communities, Facebook and the website and such, that are just sharing their stories and they're being open and sharing their struggles with me and with each other, and just forming that community I think has just been an incredible thing to experience. I know for me personally it's been very healing to know that I'm not alone in some of the things that I've experienced or am experiencing, and that together if we talk about it, just pray for each other and have those kind of encouraging relationships, that's definitely just the way to go. To protect yourself from Mad Church Disease, you've got to stay connected to Christ. The pivotal question in my life that someone asked was, is working in this church interfering with your communion with Christ? And it just pierced my heart because I knew that what I was doing for God, was just doing all these things for God, wasn't really being for God. And I got those two confused. No one's immune from Mad Church Disease. It hits people in small churches and big churches, and whether you're, known by millions or known by just a few, there's no discriminating factor. Prayer is vitally important to becoming healthy and keeping just a very good, healthy spiritual relationship going. Something I read once, there's a book called Preacher and Prayer by Ian Bounds, and he talks about pastors and different people that would wake up at 4 in the morning and pray for 2 hours, or they'd spend 8 hours a day in prayer, and that just blew my mind because I couldn't imagine prayer being something like that. It was always the sugarcoating, or I would do something and ask God to bless that. But prayer is just simply communicating with God, and in John 15:5, it tells us that we have to stay connected to God for us to work, and be fruitful for Him. And just that open conversation, and just realizing it doesn't have to be a very formal, specific thing, that it can just be throughout the day, just talking to God, like I would talk to a person over coffee sometimes.